We're gonna dive into Spouts, kids. I'm excited. I love Spouts. So I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about my plan. So if you take a look, it's obviously wide going into skinny. A spout, the idea of a spout is that basically the way that I might need a pointer here. The way that a spout is kind of like designed, you want it to come up high, okay? And the reason for that is because when liquid is poured in, whatever the tip of the spout, that's going to be your max liquid level, okay? So if I want this to fill up a little bit more, it would be wise of me to either lengthen the spout a little bit or raise it up a little bit so that I can have a higher liquid level whenever I go to pour it in, if that makes sense. And if you have questions about this, like email, call, whatever it is, Google comment, whatever it would be, just let me know, okay? What you do want in terms of a spout is something that pours really easily, and the ideal for pouring is basically something that flows liquid in such a way that it's not going to just pour out. So the angle is also really important. So if you take a look here, the tip of my spout, if you see here, it's coming up and then stopping. Okay, so it's what I may want to do is direct this flow even a little bit better by taking the spout whenever I plan it out. Bear with me here for a minute. And maybe directing the liquid to kind of flow so that, because you have to think about it in terms of that. All right, so here's what we have. I have my pot here. I have a slab. Now I rolled it out with a rolling pin. You can pinch this out. There's 1,000 different things that you can do. If you're home, use your yogurt lid to smooth out the interior and the exterior. And step one would be to form the spout. So what I'm going to do is, it's kind of like this system of trial and error at home, okay? What you want to have is something that is skinny at the tip, wide at the base, generally speaking. Now, I have a spout mold that my hubby made me a long time ago. That's really nice if you are in class, but you don't have that at home. So we're going to just kind of tinker and work. So this is where you get to experiment. All right, and experimentation is really the slice of life, in my opinion. I know that not everybody feels that way. I know that you just want to get this done because it's a project that I'm making you do. But I will say this, like, my intention for you with all of these projects is to get off of your phones, get off of your computer, get your hands into some physicality, and your brain will thank you for it. Like, your brain will relax and start enjoying the creative process if you get started. So what I have here is just like a small little slab, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of roll it inward, okay? And I want it wide, obviously, at the base, and then at the tip, I want it a little bit more. So what I am going to do is I'm going to just kind of take it and roll it in so that I get kind of the size that I want along the exterior, okay? I can hold it up and I can say, whoa, a little bit big, I'm gonna go a little smaller. Whatever it is that you decide. Now, once you figure out that width, what you're going to do is just cut through both of your layers and just take away what you don't need. So I'm cutting through not one but two. All right. Then now what I can do is I can take this, and instead of overlapping it, I can actually bring it together, which is kind of nice. And now I can figure out, obviously I'm going to score and slip this, so give me a hot second. If you are scoring with a fork, rock out. If you're scoring with a toothpick, if you're scoring with a needle tool because you are in class, it's all fine. It all works. Okay, so it would be really wise of you to allow this to set. So like, get your hairdryer out. I know you girls have a hairdryer at home because you're walking around with such fine looking locks. But, you know, if you don't have a hairdryer at home, just leave it out for a minute, grab yourself a snack, come back to it in about 10 minutes or so, make some cheese and crackers for yourself. That sounds really good right now. I only had peanut butter toast for breakfast. I'm going to be starving later. So what I'm doing here is I'm kind of just tinkering with the surface of this for a minute and trying to make it pretty. Now, I'm not done dealing with this. I've got some awkward base to it. I've got to kind of fine-tune the overall, but I have a spout. That's what's important. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this down a little bit. And if you notice, the top of the spout is shorter than the bottom of the spout, so it's on an angle. Okay, that will allow me to see what this angle is like. And if you take a look, that angle is not lifting upward quite yet. So what I get to do is I get to, if you need more upward, you have to cut more into the top of the spout. If you need more downward, you have to cut a little bit flatter on this end. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take and shave off about 1/2 inch off of this top. So that's what that looks like. I'm just going to take that off for you so that you see. And we can take a look at how, again, this fits. Now, I figured out my angle, but like proportion-wise, this is way bigger than 1/3. So what I really want to do is I want to echo this angle, but shorten down the spout by a lot. So again, we're working with proportion, we're figuring it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this angle and kind of eyeball it and echo the angle going down, but sort of just figure out how to trim that off because I want it to be a lot shorter. So once I echo that angle, I can just bring it down, cut that off, and see what I get, you know, from here. So if I take a look, I'm getting closer and closer to what I want. All right. So there is more to the spout. You're going to get a couple demos, but basically what you are doing with today is just simply making the spout, sizing the spout, angling the spout. And then what we're going to do the next time you come in, don't attach it until next week. Next week, what we're going to do is we're going to cut away some pieces on the interior so that the water can flow through before we attach it. Also, we're going to do some fine-tuning of this form so that we have something that looks and flows really, really, really nicely. So stay tuned. I hope you have the most wonderful weekend. Hugs and kisses.